for today's session. And I want to say welcome to you, Nuhu Saniwara from Kebbi State in Nigeria. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 23rd Daily Lightning session. Today is the 3rd of September, 2020. And it's always a pleasure for Dr. Francois and myself to have you with us for this Daily Lightning session of the COVID-19 Scholar Peer Hub. So as you're joining in, we have a routine that we don't want to break. Please just do type in your city and your country in the chat so we know where you're joining from. And you know, as always, we have the Q&A icon. If you have any question, any difficulty that you're facing, any challenge, as far as the task for this week is concerned, just go ahead and type in your question and your concern in the Q&A section, and we will be delighted to see how we can get to sort out the issue together. And I'm turning my attention now to the chat to say hello to good afternoon to you. I'm Salu from Ethiopia. Great to have you with us today. Same goes to you, Janada, joining from Abuja in Nigeria, and also Ada from Kenya. Always a pleasure to have you with us. And we also have Yahya Ahmed. You're welcome, Yahya. Thank you for support and guidance. We are here for you, and we are together in this boat because we do want to maintain our immunization services within the context of COVID-19. And so the question I may want to ask you is, are you sure that you have met all the certification requirements? Are you sure you have met all the certification requirements? And what were these requirements? That you contribute to the IGS engine. This is just a recall. And I'll be bringing this recall again tomorrow. You contribute to the IGS engine, that you submit your peer hub reports on time, that you submit the initial version of your project, and you submit 3 peer reviews of your peers' initial projects with accurate ratings and constructive comments, and then that you revise and submit your final project, bringing about substantive revision and improvement. It's not just about you taking your initial project and submitting it all over again, no, but you need to work on it based on the feedback that you receive from your peers to improve upon that. That said, I want to say a special welcome to Khairul Islam, that's greeting us from Bangladesh. Great to have you with us today, Khairul. And so this week, it's in red. It is what? That is revising and improving upon your initial project and submitting a final version. And how do you get to improve upon that? You have to see the feedback that you receive from your peers. As far as the project is concerned, the feedback you receive in peer grade, and then you watch the video tutorial on how to view that feedback. You read the comments that were left on your project by your peers. You use those comments to improve. Even if you receive just 2 reviews, please don't wait for a 3rd one. Just go ahead and start revising. And you can also make good use of the advice that we have been receiving during these daily lightning sessions. The recordings of the previous sessions are already posted uploaded on the learning.foundation, so you can view any one of them and you'll get very useful advice on how you can improve upon your projects. Really focus on the action and the action step, what you're going to be able to implement at the level of in your context, whether you're the district health facility or whatever level in which you find yourself. So now you remember the deadline. Remember the deadline for you to submit the final project. It is in just a little over 24 hours. That is at midnight Geneva time. Midnight Geneva time tomorrow. If you are in Nigeria, it will be 11 p.m. just like here in Cameroon. If you are in Ghana, it's going to be 10 p.m. And so if you are in India and any other country, it's going to be a lot more later than that for you. So just do well to ensure that you meet the deadline. That said, you know these sessions are not sessions in which we do a lot of talking. I just want to greet Lizzie Ibene, that's joining from Abuja in Nigeria. Welcome. Joseph Gugi from Kenya, Muranga, and our regular Ruth Boatema from Ghana. Always a pleasure to have you. So as I was saying earlier, these sessions are not just for us to be talking, but mostly for you to be talking. So I want to invite you right now, if you want to share your experience with us as far as the feedback you receive from the peers is concerned, as far as the revisions that you're going to do on your project is concerned, please, I invite you to raise your hand right now. Raise your hand. So I'll be delighted to invite you to unmute yourself and share your experience with us. So my eyes are on the chat. If you are interested, you don't know where to raise your hand, you can just type in the chat that you want to share your experience. And if not, also raise your hand. My eyes are on the chat for your comment, and also on the panel. And I'm already seeing Lizzie Igbine, your hand is raised. So I'm going to invite you to unmute yourself. And before you take the floor, I'll invite Dr. Francois Gas for his comments and tidbits and the introduction of the questions that you're going to be answering this evening. Over to you, Francois.
Thank you, Charlotte, and hello to everyone, whatever time it is in your place. I'm glad you are on the session, and I see 23 participants on the session, and I see many who have been traditionally attending every session. I want to Lizzie, Amsalu, I'm happy that you are really following the sessions and always bringing your experience, your useful experience to all other scholars. So this time, you know, we are 24, almost a little bit less than 24 hours from the deadline to deposit your project. And we would like to focus because time is running. And we would like to focus on three things. What is your project? If you share your experience, and I hope many will accept to share, even if you have deposited your project, can you share it? And we will comment. It's just a comment on the various projects. And your title and your objective, which correspond to the challenge you want to overcome. And then what we want particularly to focus is how you're going to address to meet your objective, address your challenge, and how did you decide to change in terms of action and action step for each action. As a peer review help you to be more specific, more concrete, more verb of action oriented in your project. So most of your 5-minute presentation should be dedicated to the actions to overcome your challenge and the action step of the 2 or 3 actions you decided to prioritize to contribute to resolving your challenge. So over to you, and looking forward to hear your experience and sharing with all scholars.
Thank you very much, everybody. We had an experience last 2 years on going to a community to work on nutrition. And we discovered that the community also needs immunization. And that was how we went into it.
Sorry for interrupting you. Excuse me, Lizzie, please, can you start by introducing yourself and telling us where you work? And then you can go ahead, please.
Sorry. My name is Lizzie Iwine. I live in Abuja, FCT, in Nigeria. I work with Nigerian Women Agro-Allied Farmers Association. It's an association that works on increasing agri-produce, advocacy, and nutrition-sensitive agriculture value addition into what we are doing. So while we are going around the communities, introducing home gardens to support nutrition in families, we discovered the need that children there are not immunized regularly. Some have been immunized last 3 months, last 6 months, and they are due for the second one or third one, and they have no access. So to give them access, we interviewed them, we discussed that with them, and we went to the nearest health center, which is 6 kilometers away from the community, to report what we have found. So they were in support. So we went back to the community to arrange and discuss with them so that these people can be coming to immunize them and can take up the outstanding ones that are not immunized for the past 6 months, 9 months, and 3 months. So we organized with the primary health care center, very small place. So they went back with us. We arranged them by nominating some of the community members as leaders of the team and as a watch group to make sure and ensure that every child there is noted. And when we come back, they will tell us the history of that child or family, that so-so child is there. Then we go to the family of that child to find out how long or what has the child taken as immunization, and we hear their stories. So we now know exactly the need of the community. We come back with the primary health care people and get the children immunized. And by doing this, within 1 year, some of the children have shored up their outstanding immunization. And every child now, gets interested. But we are not just doing that. We go there with a token of maybe Indomie, spaghetti, little things for the family as an incentive. So as we are doing this, we now got every child in the community to be registered and immunized. But we had some issues. The issues we had was that at the beginning, we thought that we would just go in and do it ourselves. No, it didn't work until we have people in the community who are working with us. That was when we had our breakthrough. And we have not left that place. But during this COVID time, we are not regular. And we are getting calls now that, yes, that they need help. Then again, those leaders that we nominated to work with us, we gave them some incentives, like giving some of them phone handsets so that they can flash us when there's need. These are what we have done. Apart from going to do our home garden, we added this to ensure that the communities are healthy and that PAC is working in that community. And that is the situation that we have put under control for now. Thank you.
Thank you to Lizzie. I have a few questions to ask you. So within the context of COVID-19, what exactly have you submitted your project?
For now, for the hub, no, I'm working on it. I hope to submit this night. Okay. Because I like doing crash work. I have so many things doing. So when it is due, I'll make sure I'm submitting this night or tomorrow morning.
So what's your specific objective?
Our objective is to ensure the health of the community. As we achieve food security and nutrition, we also want to achieve immunization of every child in that community.
Okay, that's great. And what specific actions are you going to carry out to ensure that within the context of COVID-19?
Okay, with the situation we have on ground, really, there are great need and calls for food in those areas. So we cannot just go to them without having anything in our hand. What we did in the last 2 months was to send them little food. And we are promising them that we will come back. So we are working with partners to see how we can get some of the PPEs, like the nose mask, get some foods and go back to them so that we will continue doing our work. That is just like an incentive.
All right, thank you very much, Lizzie. Now I'll turn towards Francois. Francois, you have listened to Lizzie's experience. What do you have to add, or are there further questions you want for more enlightenment? Over to you, Francois.
Thank you, Gareth, and thank you, Lizzie, for sharing your experience and the support you provide to those communities and addressing some of the need at the COVID time. We really, I think your experience in having a close link with the community you support for food and addressing immunization is really an added value to the immunization program and the protection of the child in the area that you are serving. And I think your objective is quite specific. You want to have all the children in the community you serve fully immunized. Now, you have found ways with community, you say your action comprise of having community people who help you to detect and identify those children in need. But do you have any more detail on what do they do exactly as a community, and how, by what action do you involve them in doing their work? And you have not been very specific on what happened with COVID. How much what you had succeeded before went a bit down at the time of COVID? were you doing very well before, achieving with your system and your action almost 100%? And how far down did you went with COVID? And how far, and I suppose you want to return to where you were before COVID. Can you confirm and explain?
Thank you very much.
Mm.
Before the time of COVID, we are not perfect, but we are making steps from doing our nutrition and home garden to immunization, and we are moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to also meet some of their needs, like support.
Mm-hmm.
But during the lockdown, nobody went anywhere. They were abandoned for 3 months. Though some of the time they will request for food and we send to them. Presently, we have gone back to the health center, but they are not ready. Maybe they don't have drugs or the vaccines. So we are planning, apart from planning with the health center, we are planning on our own because they were asking for nose mask that they had that they were sharing. So it behoves on us that we will get some for them. And if we can get food too. Why? Because the relationship that we have built is a relationship of trust. So if we go to them empty-handed, it will demoralize them. And most of the time that we have called them, was there any sharing in your area? They said that nobody came to share, apart from the one that the churches shared. So that's the situation we are passing through. But we are in touch with them.
So if I understand well, in fact, so all your activities and what you were doing before got stopped because of COVID. And now, and then you have added the availability of equipment like masks, but the masks are for the woman or for whom are the masks that you making available to return to those community?
Okay, the mask is for everybody. If we are sharing mask, we'll give maybe, if a family is 4 or 5, we'll give them one to the extent that we can share. Yes.
And the community relays that you work with also are getting masks?
No, but I'm not sure anybody has shared for them. But you can use your handkerchief or you can do your own mask. So people are trying their best.
What's very important, Lizzie, is to be very specific on the action at the time of COVID you are doing to return to your performance before COVID. This is the most important thing. So make sure that the 3 or 4 actions that you do will help you to return to the compliance to immunization. And of course, the contribution in food, etc., is a useful asset as well. It's a package deal, and which is very important because it's a trust and reliable. But make sure that the 3 or 4 actions, your priority action, are listed. And for each action you do, detail the action steps you need to take to put in place the action you have decided to take. And make sure that at the end, you have an action to monitor how well you're doing. Are your action and action step taking place? Are you making progress toward your goal to bring back the courage where you were before COVID in area? One just last question for information. How many communities are you targeting? How big is the size of the community you're targeting? Because you are in Abuja. I have no idea. Nigeria is big. How extensive is the population that you serve?
Okay. The population in that community, they will be up to 200. They will be up to, they will be up to 200 families.
200 families, which means 1,200 or 1,500 people.
Yes, then we are working with 3 communities, but 2 effectively. The third one is we go there to share things, but we promise them that we'll extend immunization to them, but we have not before the onset of COVID. And so effectively, we are working with 2.
Did you know if you said nothing is perfect, but do you know if you managed to reach to immunize, to have infant 80% of the children in those community immunized or not?
Yes,
before COVID?
Before COVID, they were up to date. At least we held the last one in January, February. So, and it was in March that the lockdown started from the 27th.
And in January, February, the majority of children you were targeting were up to date with immunization.
Yes, our records were up to date.
Perfect. That's very good, which means that thank you for sharing your experience. Try to be as concrete and as specific as possible, because it will help other scholars to read your story and for you to monitor if you're making progress and if all the actions and action steps you have planned for are taking place. So thank you, Lizzie, for sharing your experience and the detail of it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
Okay, thank you, Lizzie and Francois. I see another raised hand in the chat. That's Charles Combi. Charles, I don't know if you want to share your experience with us, or you want to ask a question to Lizzie or talk about her. Just go ahead and unmute yourself, and you have the floor, Charles. And meanwhile, you can also type in your questions or your comments in the chat. I see Charles has put down his hand. It means that probably he raised it accidentally. But however, Charles, if you are in a position to unmute yourself, would have been glad. Okay, I see you've unmuted yourself. So good evening, Charles, and how are you doing today?
Very fun. Not really.
I can't hear.
Sorry, Charles, your volume is very low. Please, could you try to increase the volume of your microphone or try to get closer to your headset? I don't know.
Okay, thank you. I said that I don't have any feedback. It was by some chance that I clicked on.
So you're waiting for he's waiting for his feedback.
I have not yet received any feedback for the peer review.
Not.
Charlotte, can I just step in?
Yes, Shalini, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you. So Charles, what we can do, you can talk to me offline, and I'll try and help you. Charles? I don't think you can hear me. Yes. Over to you, Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shalini. I also just wanted to just do a rapid check on peer grade to see what Charles' situation is, to be sure that he has actually received a peer review so that we can guide him on how to see the feedback that he has received for his reviews. And so Charles, don't worry, we are sure that there is a way of sorting this out. And I also see Rita and a number that says, I have not also received feedback too. All right, so I'm going to share a link with you on the chat. The link is how to see your feedback. But for the time being, I also want to refer you to the tutorial to ensure that you view the video tutorial that has to do with how to view the feedback that you have received.
Yeah, and if you all still have any problems, then you can reach out to us on Telegram or on WhatsApp, and we'll help in guiding you.
Yes, thank you, Shalini. And I was just about to say that you can also join Alain Blaise for tomorrow's daily technical support session at 11 a.m. Geneva time. If your schedule is not tight, you can join the technical support session with Alain Blaise and share your problem. We'll try to find a solution together, because tomorrow is the deadline. It's important for us for your problem, your issues to be solved as soon as possible. So right now in the chat, if you take a look at the chat, you see that I have pasted the link to the tutorial that helps you to see feedback from your peers on your initial project that you submitted. So right now, I'm not seeing any more comments or questions in the chat. I just want to greetings to Angela Kisoso from Kenya and Pervez Yusuf from Islamabad in Pakistan. We are 5 minutes to the end of this session, and I just want to continue with some gentle reminders on, actually, we all know that this week is the ultimate week, the week in which we have to submit the final version of our project. But I also wanted to remind us the slide that I shared earlier on, the deliverables, what is the certification requirements that you should ensure that you are meeting all the requirements so that at the end, you will not, when you don't receive, you will not be surprised that you have not received a certificate because you actually missed out on one or two of these requirements. And please also share with your peers in the country Telegram groups, reminding them that it is important for them to submit the final project before tomorrow midnight Geneva time, and that they should have brought about a substantive revision and improvement upon their initial project before submitting. So please do not make the mistakes that some do by submitting the same version, by submitting the initial version of their projects. And so at this point in time, tomorrow is going to be our last daily lightning session for the exercise 1 of the COVID-19 peer hub. And okay, I see Charles Combi, he's kind of like rectifying on the chat that he said it was by error that he clicked on the raise hand. Okay, Charles, I understood that. So glad to know that you are not having any issues, no problems. So as I was saying, it is good to know that tomorrow is going to be our last daily lightning session, and we are going to spend the time tomorrow. It will be more like experience sharing. We want you to come tomorrow ready to give us a feedback on how you have seen the whole process, the whole peer hub exercise, starting from the ideas engine to the ideas that you pasted to you, developing your project, doing the peer review and revising. So really, tomorrow we're looking forward to having you with us and hoping that by the time you'll be joining tomorrow, you will be part of all of the scholars who have submitted the final project. So please do not delay in doing your revision. Just go ahead. And I see Shalini assures me that it's 6 p.m. Geneva time, Charles. The same time, same room. You receive a Zoom notification 1 hour ahead of the session, reminding you. So it's the same time tomorrow at 6 p.m. Geneva time. We'll be having our ultimate daily lightning session for the exercise 1, and also we'll be telling you about the next, what will happen as from next week, what will be happening as from next week. So some of you may be contacted, I may be contacting some of you to take part in the daily lightning sessions that we are planning to have, that will be broadcast live on Facebook. So just start thinking about that. And I do hope you make it a date with us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Geneva time. So I really want to thank you, Lizzie, for volunteering to share your experience with us today. And if you're having any difficulties, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, either on Telegram, by mail. covid@learning.foundation is the email that you use, or through WhatsApp, or whatever means that you have. And do remember, the recordings for these sessions are also available on learning.foundation. You can review the recordings for previous session, and the recording of this session will be available tomorrow morning on the learning.foundation platform. So I do want to just wish you all the best as you're continuing to revise your project, and that you will submit it on time before the deadline tomorrow evening. I want to turn to Dr. Francois Gaz for any final thoughts or remarks before I return to Shalini to close this session for us today. Over to you, Francois.
Thank you, Charlotte. No, thank you to all of you for all those lightning sessions where you have enlightened my participation by your sharing and by raising your question and having a dialogue with Charlotte and I and with all the scholars. And I think it's been, for me, a very nice experience. And I wish you the best for finalizing your project and and taking the most of your peer review. If you have not submitted your project, really the peer review of is overwhelming, useful to improve your project. And please submit it. Thank you so much, Charlotte and all scholars.
Thank you very much, Francois. And I just saw a question right now on the Q&A from Ahmad Navid. He was asking, we have submitted just one peer hub report. And I say just submit your final project. And by next Monday during the Global Assembly, you're going to receive the next steps and you'll surely be called upon to submit an ultimate report, peer hub report for this exercise 1. Okay, so thank you, Navid, for that question that I found pertinent. So over to you, Shalini. And thank you all for being here today.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. Thank you, Francois, and to all the scholars who were here today, and all the best for your projects. And Rita, you can get in touch with me on Telegram or WhatsApp, and I'll just type in my number so we can have a chat, and I can help you if you have any issues. Just give me a second. So I hope you all, I wish you all very, very good luck for your final submission, and I'm sure you all will finish right on time. And you know, we're here for you, and you can join the last session tomorrow because that will be really useful for last minute guidance. And so have a great, great day. And wish you all a very, very good night or good afternoon or whatever the time of the day is. Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye.
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 Bye.